to episode 1 of season 2 of SnowBunnieDIY. I'm so excited. This is my favorite time of year. I love decorating for the holidays, celebrating the holidays, and of course, crafting for the holidays. That sounded very cheesy, but I promise that was not pre-written. The cheesiness just comes out. It just comes out. For season 2, I'm going to be kicking off with a Sock Plushie reindeer, which is so cute. I'm so excited to make it. You guys really liked my Sock Plushie scary teddy from Nightmare Before Christmas, so here is another Sock Plushie that you can make. This one's a lot more simple than the scary teddy, but still super, super cute. And then the rest of the month, I will be doing some resin snowflakes from Craft Kitsune, and also I will be painting on canvas for the first time with acrylic paints, trying to follow a beginner-friendly tutorial. So hopefully that goes well. I guess we'll see. And then my final video of the year will be a 2021 flashback, looking at all of the times from my second year on YouTube, like my favorite videos, my least favorite videos, and your favorite videos. So make sure, if you don't want to miss those, you subscribe and click that little bell so you get notified when I post. I am all decorated for the holiday season. I mean, this is like very minimalist decorations. Our decorations out in the main living room are pretty intense. Takes up a lot of space. But of course, I think my llama should probably be wearing my hat. Right, llama? Yeah, okay. I guess we'll trade. Oh yes, I think that looks much better. Okay, let's just jump right in to today's video, the Sock Plushie reindeer. What's nice with this project is you don't need anything expensive, and honestly, you probably have most of the stuff already in your house, or you can get it at the dollar store. For the reindeer, you're gonna need some brown socks. I got some brown fluffy socks, but you don't have to use fluffy socks if you don't want to. And honestly, the fluffy socks make such a huge mess. So I don't blame you if you don't use fluffy. I actually don't like sewing with fluffy socks, but it ends up making the plush look a lot more soft and cuddly and kawaii, so I guess I'll go with the fluffy socks, why not? I'm also going to be using some brown, kind of light tan felt, and that is going to be for the ears and the tail. I think I'm going to use red pom-pom for the nose because I'm going to make Rudolph. I'm going to be using black buttons for the eyes. Also, I'm using upholstery thread because it is nice and thick and heavy duty, so I can really pull on my stitches and not worry about any of the thread snapping. Also, I'm going to be using these embroidery needles because they're long and heavy duty, so it's easier for me to see where I'm going when I'm stitching, and it works really well on this kind of sock material. You're also going to need pins to hold everything in place while you're sewing. Now this video is not going to be a sewing tutorial. I will tell you what stitches I'm using, but I'm not going to show you how to do the stitches. If you would like to see how to do these stitches that I mentioned, then you can go watch the Scary Teddy Sock Plushie and also my video making this llama pillow. In both of those videos, I give a full tutorial for beginning sewing. So I'll put links to those up here in the iCard and in the description for you. But if you have any questions while you're watching this video, then go ahead and put them in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. And similarly, I'm sure there are other coffee beans out there who are more than happy to help you too. Sewing is not hard, I think it just looks intimidating, so you just take your time and go slow. Now to get started, I'm going to make the body of the reindeer first. So I got my sock out and flipped it inside out. Then I noticed there was a big hole in this sock, so I can't use this for the body, so I'll use this one for the head. So I'm just going to set this one aside, and I took out my other sock and flipped it inside out. Then I flattened the sock out on my table, and I made sure that the heel was on top, it's pointing up. And I kind of flopped it over to the side, and then I traced out where I wanted my legs to go. I kept one set of legs closer to the heel, because that's going to be the butt, and then I kept the other set of legs a little bit further away from the heel. Then I did a back stitch along my lines. We do need to leave an opening while we're sewing, so for one of these sets of legs, make sure you sew them separately and leave a hole where the butt would be. That sounds really weird. It's a butthole. Gross. Oh, goodness sakes. Then I cut away all the excess fabric, being careful not to cut my stitches. After flipping it inside out, I went ahead and stuffed the body. I put just a little bit of stuffing in each of the feet, and then I put a bunch of stuffing inside the body itself. Then I stitched the opening closed with a ladder stitch. Look at how cute this little body is! Look at his little butt! He got a bubble butt. This is so cute. I can't help squeezing it. Well, I guess that's the point, is you're supposed to squeeze a plushie, right? It's supposed to be soft and cuddly. This is definitely soft and cuddly. Now it's time to move on to the head. I'm gonna take the sock that had the hole in it, and we're going to use just the toe. For this sock, you don't need to turn it inside out. You can leave it right side out. I took a big handful of my stuffing and put it all the way into the toe. And I kind of moved the stuffing around a little bit so that the head had kind of a teardrop shape, because I want a snout for the smaller end and the bigger end is the head. Then, using my fingers as a guide, I cut away the excess sock. Make sure you're really careful and don't cut yourself. Then I close that up with a running stitch. Now it's time to attach the head to the body, and this can be a little tricky. So I was debating if I wanted the head to go forward facing, but then it kind of looked like it was sleeping, like it looked kind of like it was down. So instead I turned it to the side. So now my reindeer kind of looks like it's looking over its shoulder. It's like looking over here. It's really cute. So I lined up where I wanted the head to be, and I went ahead and stuck some pins in to hold it in place. Then I attached the head with a ladder stitch. Oh my gosh, it's turning out so cute! It kind of looks like a dog or a cat at this point, which, I mean, you could totally turn it into either of those. You could turn it into any animal at this point. It's so cute and it's so soft. If you're like me and seeing all of the beautiful lights and all of the amazing holiday decorations just put a huge smile on your face, especially with a peppermint mocha. Yes, girl child. Bunny loves some peppermint mochas. Then you would fit right in with the coffee bean family. You should subscribe so you can become a coffee bean too. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't lose me to the big wide world of YouTube. I upload videos every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now we need to make the ears and the tail. I went ahead and took my tan felt and traced out an ear shape and then held it up to my deer head to see if it was the right size, and I decided to make it a little bit bigger. Then I held up that second shape and realized I needed to make it just a little bit smaller until I got just the right shape. I did use that first smaller ear for the tail though. Then I took each of my tan pieces of felt and laid it on top of a spare piece of brown sock and stitched that together with a back stitch. And I did this for the other ear and the tail. Then I flipped them all right side out. To give the tail some dimension, I folded it in kind of like a taco and stitched the bottom part of the felt together so that it kind of made a concave shape. Then I stitched it to the back of the reindeer with a ladder stitch. It's so cute! It sticks up perfectly! It totally looks like a cute little reindeer tail. I did the same thing with the ears. I kind of folded them in a little bit like a taco and stitched together that bottom part of the tan felt. Then I pinned them in place to the head and then attached them with a ladder stitch. At first I was worried that these ears were gonna either look like cat ears or bunny ears, but they turned out really, really cute. They look just like little reindeer ears and they stick up, and he looks curious, like he's looking around listening to all the noises. I also wanted to give him little tiny antlers, kind of like the claymation Rudolph, but this gave me the most trouble, which is saying something because honestly this was really easy too. I do have these tan socks that I got at the dollar store, and they kind of have this like darker brown weaving, so it almost looks like antler color. So I wasn't sure how big the antlers should be. So I used my fingers to measure and I stitched that and then held it up to the deer, and it was definitely too big. So then I used just my pinky to measure the antlers, and that was a much better size. And so here you can kind of see the size difference. I definitely started out way too big. I stitched these together with a back stitch and then flipped them right side out. I pinned both of the antlers to the head and attached them both with a ladder stitch. It's finally time to do the eyes and the nose. And to make sure I knew where I wanted the eyes, I stuck in 2 of my yellow pins and kind of moved them around until I got the positioning that I liked. Now for the eyes, I want them to be kind of sunk into the sock so that they look kind of pressed into the face. And it kind of gives the face more dimension rather than like bug eyes, which is what I was worried was gonna happen. So I put my thread in first and then through the button, and I did a couple loops into the sock and I pulled the thread really, really tight until the button kind of sank into the sock. Then, using that same piece of thread, I went to the other side of the face and attached that button too. And I went back and forth between the 2 eyes to kind of pull them closer together and get them to sink into the sock a little bit. Then I used a pin to mark where I wanted the nose to be, and again using that same piece of thread, I didn't cut the thread or start with a new piece of thread, I stitched the nose in place. He's all done! Look at how stinking cute this reindeer is. Oh my gosh. He's so cute. He's so small. And so soft and squishy and cuddly. Typically, I don't really like this microfiber texture, but this is more soft and cottony than microfiber. Oh my gosh, I could cuddle with this. If I made an even bigger one, I would cuddle with this all day. It's so soft. This Rudolph is the perfect way to kick off SnowBunnieDIY. I think he looks great just sitting right in my Christmas tree with all of my pretty lights and all of my ornaments. Or I could put him on my fireplace mantle to wait for Santa to come. I bet you Santa and his reindeer would really love this plushie too. I'll have to make sure Baby Bunny sets this Rudolph next to the plate of cookies for Santa so that he can show his reindeer too. This was super easy to make and super quick. I was able to put it together in a little over an hour. So if you are a beginning sewer too, this is definitely the perfect project for you to try. Now next week I'm going to be attempting is the keyword, to paint on canvas for the first time with acrylic paint following a beginner's tutorial, and I'm really nervous. I don't know how I'm gonna do. So if you want to see that, then make sure you subscribe and click the little bell so you don't miss when I post. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Love you a latte.